Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks versus Arizona Cardinals Week 10 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and potentially project NFL performance. And it's a weekly collection, so there's always going to be various variables that affect things. If a player gets hurt, if a player gets injured, it definitely can affect things. However, there will always be little nuggets of truth that become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you're new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting with this matchup between the Cardinals and the Seahawks, looking at the NFL stat basic comparison data, and the basic comparison data just looks at the offense, the defense, the special teams, and again, all terms and definitions are in the description if you're new to the channel. Overall data favors the Seahawks. Basic things I would say is pretty much everything favors the Seahawks. When you look at turnover ratio, Seahawks have it over the Cardinals. When you look at sack percentage, which is the amount of sacks that you allow or don't allow, essentially, the Seahawks are higher than the Cardinals in that respect. The Seahawks are also better in terms of offensive score percentage, which the Seahawks don't have an amazing offense, but it's better than the Cardinals have been this year. Then, of course, defensively speaking, the Seahawks have a better defense in terms of preventing points than the Cardinals. They also have a better ability to create turnovers on defense, better ability to create sacks on defense, and better ability to get interceptions on defense. So, in general, offensively and defensively speaking, the Seahawks are just a lot better than the Cardinals. Now, when you get to special teams data, so things like punt return, kick return, defensive punt return, defensive kick return, field goal percentage, extra point percentage, punting average, all that stuff. In this respect, the Seahawks are also better when it comes to offensive punt return and defensive kick return, and offensive kick return, But defensively, same difference as well. Seahawks are also pretty high when it comes to defensive punt return, defensive kick return. Seahawks are better in terms of field goal percentage. Cardinals are better in terms of extra point percentage, and then punting average is more so with the Cardinals. So the only thing that the Cardinals statistically do better, significantly better than the Seahawks, is punting. Not the best. So based on the overall data going into this game, it just looks like a very likely Seahawks victory. Barring cataclysmic craziness, this is kind of what it looks like. And the Seahawks have been struggling. I mean, this is not an amazing Seahawks team. This is one of the weaker Seahawks teams when it comes to, Russell Wilson and the whole gang there. So this by no means is the Seahawks at their best, but they are better than what the Cardinals have been this year. Now, when you get to some other sort of data points, so looking at completion percentage data, Cardinals versus Seahawks, you can kind of just look at this up. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this or discussing this. I just want to have that out there so you guys can look at that yourselves. Then, of course, you look at the Seahawks versus Cardinals in terms of completion percentage, and pretty much, is what it is. Cardinals actually favored in terms of first and second down. Then when you get to rushing down, so this deals with first down conversion rate, which is the ability to create first downs with the run, and the Seahawks are better than the Cardinals in every respect, first down, second down, and third down. The Cardinals have had a lot of success getting first downs on third down, but I think the biggest issue for the Cardinals, and something that I think it's an issue because of David Johnson not being there, it's just an issue in general with them, is they just do not create first downs that well on first or second down, and that means that everything has to be on third down. So if there was one thing I would really say is a contributing factor to the deficiencies with this offense, it's the inability to have big plays with the run, and not just like 20-yard plays or 40-yard plays. I'm talking a 10-yard play that gets a first down, a 7-yard play that gets a first down on first down and second down. Cardinals are just simply not doing that as often as they need to compared to the rest of the NFL. So that's definitely a problem. Then, of course, you look at the Seahawks offense versus the Cardinals defense, and the Seahawks have the advantage here, but the Seahawks don't have an amazing rushing offense either. In fact, it's very similar to the Cardinals. Meh on first down, meh on second down, and then they're above average on third down. So everything comes down to third down for the Seahawks when it comes to creating first downs with the run. And that's not a good thing. It's not a very efficient rushing offense. And for the Seahawks, I mean, you want them to have a good rushing offense. I mean, the Seahawks have always been more of a defensive team than a crazy offensive team in terms of passing like crazy, like a Saints offense. Like, they've never been that. They've always been more of a defensive-minded, run the football, don't turn the football over type of team, and they've not been that successful this year, which is definitely indicative because of the amount of points they've been able to put up. And, of course, when you get to passing downs, this is Cardinals offense versus Seahawks defense. Seahawks are better here on second and third down. Should be surprising. Really shouldn't be surprising. The Seahawks still have a relatively strong defense, especially passing defense. Then, of course, you look at the Seahawks offense versus Cardinals defense. In this particular area, the Cardinals are favored. First, second down, but third down is where the Seahawks kind of make their money. Russell Wilson. So, I mean, Russell Wilson's trying to do the best he can. I mean, you can blame him if you want. I think there's just a lack of playmakers on offense. I don't think there's a lot of amazing wide receivers. I don't think there is a incredibly efficient running game, and as a result, you're going to have some inefficiencies. But I think you should still be happy about these numbers, especially the third down numbers, because that tells you that Russell Wilson is making things happen on third down, which is always a good thing. Then, of course, you get to sack rate. Cardinals offense versus Seahawks defense. Seahawks are favored here across the board, first, second, and third down. Then you get to the Seahawks offense versus the Cardinals defense when it comes to sacks, and the Seahawks are favored here first, second, and third down, respectfully. Then, of course, you get to Cardinals offense versus Seahawks defense when it comes to interceptions, and the Seahawks are favored here first, second, third down. And then lastly, we get to the Seahawks offense versus Cardinals defense. And this is kind of a draw. Most of the interceptions that the Seahawks have thrown, or Russell Wilson has thrown, have come on first down situations. And that is also the situations that the Cardinals do the best in terms of creating turnovers. So this is going to be an interesting matchup to see if a couple picks or turnovers happen in this game, which could help the Cardinals offense out. But the Cardinals offense is just really bad, guys. So if the Cardinals are going to win this game, if that actually is going to happen, the Cardinals defense is going to have to score some points to do that. So ultimately, in conclusion, I think this is a Seahawks victory. If you really want to get to the root of the Cardinals' problems, offensive line is definitely one of those. Running back, I would say, is one of those. Now, that is definitely an issue that I think can be solved when David Johnson comes back, but it does show you the difference between having David Johnson and not having David Johnson. So, in terms of the offensive weapon. And then, of course, when you look at the quarterback situation, and sure, I'm not going to Carson Palmer can be amazing again, but he is a little older in age. There is that potential that his best days are over. But, we'll see. But ultimately, what I can say is I think this is a Seahawks victory. The Cardinals are going to win this game. They're going to have to create turnovers on defense, like I said, and score on defense. Like, they're going to have to give the Cardinals offense the best opportunities possible to have success. So that is the only way that this is going to happen. And ultimately, I just don't see that happening. So, again, I'm going to go Seahawks here. And, of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.